This week has been all about preserving culture and tradition as South Africans celebrated their heritage. In Johannesburg, at the George Goch Hostel, a Zulu cultural festival is set to get underway. The celebration, known as Indishi, is a rite of passage and involves fathers honoring their daughters who have come of age and remained untouched. Let's go to eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu and get an update from him. So Manqoba, just from looking at your visuals off air, it does look like it's going to be quite an interesting afternoon of festivities. I see that it's getting underway already. Tell me a bit more about that festival happening at the George Goch Hostel.
Well, certainly, Tulas, I can tell you that the festivities are underway here in George Goch this afternoon. Of course, it comes just a day after South Africa celebrated Heritage Day, and it is quite an important day in the calendar of the Zulu nation, given that Heritage Day in KwaZulu is known as Shaka's Day, where Umkhosi Welembe is celebrated in honor of or in memory of the late Ilembe, King Shaka. And of course, many of the Zulu, maidens as well as Amabutho gearing up for that particular festivity. Yesterday we saw in KwaDukuza where the king, His Majesty Mrs. Zulu, had oversaw that particular event. But what is happening here is an event known as Indishi, which is a cultural event where fathers celebrate their daughters that are coming of age, their daughters that have behaved, and really just saying to them, thank you for behaving. And what we're seeing here now is insizwa that are here just to try and perhaps, or to speak to these maidens and to introduce themselves to these maidens, and perhaps to try and build some sort of relationship with these young maidens. But somebody who knows better what is happening here is Induna here, Induna Undwandwe, who is going to explain to us the significance of all of this. Nduna Undwandwe, siyabona ukuthi kujatshule kumnandi la, siyazibona izintombi lezi kuthiwa ziyabongwa ziphathe kahle. Osichazele kahle ngokuthi lo mcimbi ungani kahle hle.
Lo mcimbi ungokuzoqimelisa itshitshi lakwaDladla emahlabathini njengoba silana kulo mcimbi elizokwemula ngoDisemba. Uyise ongachaza ukuthi lizomula ngezingaki.
Ibaleke ngani lo mcimbi lo ekutheni ke kugcinwa amasiko ethu esintu akwaZulu?
Kubaluleke kakhulu njengoba sabantu nje besintu ukuthi sigcina amasiko, sikwazi ukucimelisa lengane umcimbi wayo ube yimpumelelo ngegugu lesintu.
Umcimbi baba lo wenziwa emahostela owenziwa emakhaya, kungani wenziwa emahostela?
Kungoba eGoli njengoba wenziwe emahostela nje, eGoli indawo la sisebenza khona esizama khona amasente, sikwazi ukuhlanganisa amasente amagoso ezogida lengoma.
Njengoba ke baba siphuma kona usuku lapha sesigubha khona ilembe uShaka lokho kuthiwa iHeritage Day, kubaleke ngani ke ukugcinwa kwamasiko ethu kulesikhathi samanje?
Kubaluleke kakhulu ukuziqhakambisa ngesimo sokuba umuntu, ukuveza imvelaphi yakho njengoba sabantu. Into yamagugu kufanele siyiphile njengoba sabantu besintu.
So ke baba, njengoba sibona insizwa lapha, sayibona insizwa lapha ziyayithula lapha, ziyanandisa lapha entokazini, kwenzakalani kahle hle?
Umuntu ukhipha imali abize intombi ezokhuluma nayo ngokwemali, phinde kufike umshawodi okuyena oshawodayo afika iphuce lo insizwa kuphinde kuqhamuke enye futhi. Yebo.
Siyabonga kakhulu babu Ndwandwe ngokusicacisela. Well, Tulas Babu Ndwandwe, just giving us a picture of what is happening here. This is one of the cultural events that is taking place here at the hostels. It is done on a yearly basis where fathers thank their daughters for behaving, but also in preparation of another event or ceremony that is known as Uwemula. So these are girls that have been untouched. These are young women that have kept their virginity. And so it's really a celebration of culture and and tradition of the Zulu nation. And of course, it's done in the hostels, as Ubabu Ndwande has explained, because they bring their daughters from the villages in KwaZulu-Natal and thank them where they are working in the hostels. As you know, to us, that most of the people that stay here in the hostels come from villages in KwaZulu-Natal. So this is a very important, event in the hostels here in Joburg, where fathers bring their daughters to thank them. But what you're saying here behind are eNCA that are also introducing themselves to these young maidens, hopefully to get a relationship, as I said before, perhaps if possible with these maidens. But I can tell you, Tulas, that there will be song and dance that is going to take place here today as part of these celebrations that are taking place here today. But of course, one of the key issues here is the fact that it is about restoration of culture, it is about restoration of heritage for the Zulu culture.
All right, Manqoba, let's leave it there. It does seem like it's going to be a fascinating afternoon of activities there at the George Goch Hostel, as you see that gathering there from Manqoba's live visuals showing us some of what has been happening at that ceremony.